Some of that in from Europe this morning as we look ahead to our own CPI numbers later on. This is coming at the same time as we want to continue the energy conversation out of the States. Skyscrapers may look modern, but they're among the worst offenders when it comes to energy consumption and carbon emissions. With outdated heating and cooling systems, and there are a lot of them in the United States, actually 3 million. Many are now undertaking efforts to cut energy costs, with one of the biggest success stories so far is the legendary Empire State Building right here in Manhattan. Joining us now is Scott Horst. He is the Senior VP for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design at the U.S. Green Building Council. He joins us live bright and early this morning from Washington, D.C. Michael Nark, the CEO of Prenova, is also on set with us. We'll join the conversation, but I just want to kick it off. Basically, Scott, tell us what your push is.
Our push is the fact that buildings account for something like 40% of all our energy use, and that we use 71% of all of our electricity in buildings, and that we're wasting a huge amount of it. So we can reduce what we use, and that means that essentially we can use less power plants, build fewer power plants, and it's just a smart way to go. We have a program called, as you introduced it, called LEAD, Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. We have 40,000 projects in the system right now and 45,000 other residential projects. So we're just getting started at something that we know we can do and that really needs to happen.
Scott, congrats on the great movement with LEAD and moving that forward. One of the questions that I continually get asked as we go into the marketplace is what happens after LEED? So how do you operate buildings, and do you ever see LEED expanding beyond just certification of the building itself when it's built or retrofitted, to essentially involving more operational side of things and involving how do you operate the building more efficiently as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. And in fact, so the way you asked it is what happens after LEED. We have a rating system called LEED for Existing Buildings, and that's exactly what LEED for Existing Buildings does. It's a whole rating system, and it's a series of different credits that we give you points for and then score you on and then certify that you've actually done it, all about the way that you operate the building. So, and as a matter of fact, we're really working on a way that we can make the whole rating system about recertification. In the existing buildings rating systems, you recertify now after a performance period, and we know, and the Empire State Building being one of those buildings, we know that really inspires the people in the building to be involved in the things they can do to reduce energy consumption, reduce water consumption, reduce all the things that cause energy and water to be used, but also make the building a better place to live.
Scott, it's Louisa in London. What is the biggest difference that you make in terms of reducing the energy consumption? I mean, what's the one thing that you do that dramatically pulls it down? And also, is the government backing you up in this? I mean, how much cooperation do you have with the country authorities?
Well, there are a lot of differences between the way we do things. In the UK, you have something, in the whole European Union, actually, you have something called the Energy Performance Buildings Directive, which is a way where the governments all figure out some way that you meet a standard that's been set by the EU. We don't have that in the United States. So LEED is a voluntary program, and we're a nonprofit that basically functions based on people that want to improve. So we have literally thousands and thousands of developers and building owners that realize that it makes sense for them to do this. And I can't tell you, there's not one particular thing that I do, because I don't do any of it. It's all the things that they do in their buildings, which are all different. So the beauty of buildings as a solution for one of our biggest problems, energy use, water use, is that it's taking, in the United States, 150 million buildings and using all of the people's power to do things that then decrease that energy use, meaning you don't have to build as many power plants or deal with as many of the problems that we're seeing from trying to get energy. You know, it's like, I mean, think of it like any profit and loss. 40% of anything on your profit and loss means you should pay attention to it, right? So 40% of our energy use coming from buildings means that it's a pretty easy target of a way to reduce what you're using, reduce expenses.
All right. And just speaking of reducing expenses, that obviously brings in an initial expenditure to begin with. What do you think, just as you're sitting and looking over the entire industry, Michael, what's the benefit of something like this?
Well, I think to Scott's point, LEED sort of one of the things that from our perspective we'd like to see, and he said it very well, today it's voluntary. I think over time what you'd like to see is that become involuntary and something, and not so much that's mandated, but it's directed, because by virtue of it being directed, it will drive true energy efficiency, and with that does come some capital expense for sure, because there are capital dollars required to make some of these retrofits and drive some of the energy efficiency programs. But with that is also the ongoing operation of the building itself, and the ongoing operation of the building itself, coupled with those initial updates, retrofits, and true new expansion, overall have sizable impact on energy usage and overall consumption reduction, such that, to Scott's point, I mean, you can see a 30 or 35% reduction over time just associated with more efficient use of energy within the building without really changing behaviors or without people have to giving up anything.
All right, it's a good conversation, gentlemen. We appreciate your time this morning. Scott